Welcome to tonight's council meeting. As always, we will stand and honor our country by giving the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you'll stand with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and tonight's prayer will be given by Mr. Chuck Lehman.
Thank you, Jim. Join me in a moment of prayer, if you will, please. Oh, Lord God, we when we consider all the worlds that your hands have made, we're just so blessed to be in this great country, in this great state, and what a community we have. And we know that even in this minute there are men and women protecting our rights, protecting our property, protecting our health, our security. Watch over them. Be with us tonight as we conduct this business for the city, for our residents. Help us to do what's right in your sight. We also know, Lord, that our thoughts are not your thoughts and our ways are not your ways. We don't understand it, Lord, but we ask a special blessing this evening on the tragedies, your ways we don't understand, but we just ask for a special blessing on the Cook family, on the Hyde family, on the Edwards family. And through these difficult times, double portions of grace and mercy along the way, we certainly just reach out to you and ask for your special blessings. And we come to you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. At this time, I'll call our meeting to order. Will the clerk please call the presence of a quorum? Here. Here.
Here.
Here. Here.
All right, thank you. You almost caught me there, didn't you? How about that? Okay, there are no changes to the agenda tonight, so we'll proceed with the approval of the minutes from 6/25/18. This time, I'd entertain a motion.
Move to approve the minutes from June 25th.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Steve Hoover and a second from Cindy Spoljarek. Is there any discussion, additions, or corrections? All right, hearing none, I'd ask the council for their approval of the motion before us signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, the minutes stand approved. The next item of business is the approval of our claims docket. I'd entertain a motion.
Move to approve claims.
All right, I have a motion to approve claims by Mark Keene. Is there a second?
Second.
Bob Horke seconds. Is there any discussion? All right, hearing none, I'd ask the council to approve claims as stated, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, the claims are approved. There are no miscellaneous business items tonight or special presentations, so at this time we can move into old business. We have before us Resolution 18-107, and part of that will be also Ordinance 18-14. Mrs. Howard is presenting.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the council. Pam Howard with the Economic and Community Development Department. Before you this evening, I have a 100% voluntary annexation and associated fiscal plan for approximately 67 acres to be part of the Osborne Trails development. This area is generally located at the northwest corner of 191st Street and Horton Road, and this is the second of 3 phases of annexation planned for this year for this development. The public hearing for this item was held in June, and it is eligible for your adoption consideration this evening. The petitioner is not present, but I am here available to answer any questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions for Mrs. Howard at this time?
Hearing none, we will take these two items separately, and we'll first act on the resolution 18107. Is there a motion?
Move to approve Resolution 18107, the fiscal plan for annexation ordinance 1814.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Bob Horke and a second by Steve Hoover. Is there any discussion? All right. Hearing none, I would ask the clerk to poll council. Yes.
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 Thank you. And ordinance 1814 is linked to that, and it's 100% voluntary annexation. I'd entertain a motion.
Move to approve ordinance 1814, the 100% voluntary annexation as you referenced.
I have a motion by Bob Forquet. Is there a second?
Second.
A second by Cindy Spilgerik. Any discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please poll council?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. And next item up for consideration tonight is Resolution 18-108, Reserve on South. Mrs. Howard.
Thank you again, Mr. President, members of the council. Pam Howard with Economic and Community Development. For you this evening, I have another 100% voluntary annexation, along with the associated fiscal plan for approximately 8 acres, generally located on the north side of South Street, west of Oak Road. The petitioner concurrently requested rezoning to the Reserve on South PUD, which was adopted at your last council meeting. The public hearing for this annexation was held in June, and it is eligible for your adoption consideration this evening. Again, the petitioner is not here, but I am available to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Howard. Are there any questions for Mrs. Howard? Hearing none, this is like the other items, they're both linked together, so we'll consider Resolution 18-108. I'd ask for a motion.
Move to approve Resolution 18-108, the fiscal plan for annexation ordinance 1822, the Reserve on South.
Thank you, Mr. Horke. Is there a second, please?
Second.
I have a second from Cindy Spilgerik. Any discussion among council members? Hearing none, will the clerk please poll council?
Yes.
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 Yes. Next, we'll consider ordinance 18-22, 100% voluntary annexation. I'd entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve 18-22.
I have a motion by Mark Keene,
I'll second that.
second by Mr. Steve Hoover. Any discussion among council? Hearing none, I'd ask the clerk to poll council, please.
Yes.
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 All right, thank you. We hit the lottery with you tonight. Ordinance 18-21 is up for adoption consideration tonight as well. The Springville Grand Station PUD amendment.
Yes.
Mrs. Howard.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the council. Pam Howard with Economic and Community Development. For you this evening, I have an amendment to the Spring Mill Grand Station Planned Unit Development District. This 4.9-acre PUD district was originally adopted in October of 2017 and is located on the west side of Spring Mill Road, just north of 161st Street. The proposed amendment adjusts some of the architectural standards for the self-storage buildings, as well as incorporates a new concept plan showing wider right-of-way for Spring Mill Road and eliminating the north entrance to the site. The petitioners have been working with the Spring Mill Station Task Group, and a letter of support is included as an exhibit to the staff report. This item comes to you with a favorable recommendation from the July 2nd Plan Commission meeting. I do have members of the development team here. They do not plan to present, but are available for questions, as am I if you have any of the department. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Council members, do you have any questions for either the petitioner or our staff?
One point of clarification, and I talked with staff about this, but normally we don't get architectural plans with a PUD, and this time we did, and some of those plans were different than the exhibits and what the task group looked at. So I just wanted to mention that there were a few differences, like with the EFS use, and it doesn't really go all the way down to the ground, and a few other little small things, but those will be handled at development plan, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Good question. Any others?
I had asked the developer to consider screening of mechanicals on the, particularly on the west side of the Building A, I guess in this case. And I would be interested if they've been able to come up with anything to help do that. I know our PUD is somewhat, or our ordinances are not totally clear on what that needs to consist of, and I think we need to improve that. But based on some past PUDs and developments we've approved, just ask them to look at what could be done there.
Thank you, Eric Douthit from Church Hill Antrim, here on behalf of the petitioner. In response to Mr. Hoover's question or request, there are two things that we can commit to and a third that we'll do as is within our power based on how much space we actually have. One of the things that we had to do with this is we actually moved the building 20 feet to the west, give or take, to accommodate the right-of-way. And right here is the area he's asked for the screening, consistent with what we've been doing recently here in Westfield in that regard. So Ms. Howard reached out to citizens and confirmed and asked whether or not we could paint our meters so they would blend in more naturally with Building A. She indicated that citizens indicated that would be possible. The other thing that we can commit to do, subject to citizens permitting it, is allowing us to consolidate those utility meters in one or two groupings instead of having them spread out throughout the course. We'll work with staff to do that in the most effective and the best looking way that we can. Finally, with regard to screening itself, the developer is willing to screen it subject to having enough room so that they can maneuver. The screening contemplated would be more than likely a fence kind of screen that would allow the meter reader and other folks that need to get in there the room to do it. However, given the limited amount of space we have, we can't commit to that until we've actually built it, until Citizens has given us the okay to do that. So we can commit to both coloring it as consistent with what Citizens has requested, to the grouping of these into as few groups as possible to make it look as good as possible, making sure that the only, it's already in there, that the only people who are going to see it are people coming out of Building C you see there, so nothing coming from Spring Mill itself. And then to the extent we're allowed to have screening per Citizens, we'll be willing to do that as well.
Thank you for that update.
Steve, are you satisfied with?
We can't, I mean, yeah, I'm satisfied for this. I think it is something we need to look at for the future to make it more, to make sure that this happens on every future development.
And Mr. Hoover, if I may, the mechanicals are required to be screened today, and so unless we've modified that provision with this PUD, I mean, we'd just be working on that at the time of development plan approval, so how that happens.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that it has been consistently enforced with, in the past, but I think knowing what we know now and after the conversation with the Plan Commission, we certainly have the power to do that.
Okay, yeah, and that's what this arose from, is that we have many examples where it's not what we would like to see. So if we believe we can enforce it with our current UDO, then that's fine. But if we need to make some modifications to enhance that, then I think we should look at that as well.
It'd be worth clarifying, I think.
Thank you.
So noted, thank you. Any other comments? Okay, I'd entertain a motion.
Move to approve ordinance 18-21, Spring Mill Grand Station PUD amendment.
Okay, I have a motion, can I have a second?
Second.
All right, I have a motion by Steve Hoover, a second by Bob Horkay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please poll council?
Yes.
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 Thank you. And the last item up for consideration under old business is ordinance 18-25, Spring Mill Station. Mrs. Howard.
Thank you again. Pam Howard with the Economic and Community Development Department. For you this evening, I have an amendment to the Spring Mill Station southeast corner PUD district to accommodate a drive-through bank. The Spring Mill Station southeast corner PUD is located at the southeast corner of 161st Street and Spring Mill Road. It was originally approved in October of 2014 and amended in July of 2017. Community First Bank is now planning to locate on Lot 4 of the development, and the proposed amendment permits a drive-through and also incorporates the proposed landscape plan. They have met with the Spring Mill Station Task Group, and again, a letter of support is included as an exhibit to the staff report. This item also comes to you with a favorable recommendation from the July 2nd Plan Commission meeting, and I do have members of the development team here. They do not plan to present, but are available for questions, as am I, if you have any of staff. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for staff or petitioner? All right. Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion.
Move to approve ordinance 18-25, the Spring Mill Station Southeast PUD Amendment 2.
A motion by Bob Horkay. Is there a second, please?
I'll second.
Mark Keene seconds the motion. Any further discussion?
Pam, I didn't see that letter of support attached.
Yes,
The planning commission, I understood that it was.
yeah, if you look at the department report, there's a link on the exhibit numbers.
Are we good? All right. Any other questions, comments? Will the clerk please poll council? Yes.
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 Thank you. Moving on to new business. We have a couple of council introductions tonight. Ordinance 1827, Oak Ridge Point PUD.
Good evening, members of the council. For the record, Dane Crabtree with the Economic and Community Development Department. The item before you is an introduction of Ordinance 1827, proposed amendment to the Oak Ridge Point PUD, which is specific to the Birdie's Miniature Golf and Restaurant property just west of the existing Speedway gas station, Oak Ridge, and State Road 32. The amendment proposes modifying the trail corridor along State Road 32 from 30 feet to 10 feet in width, as well as modifying off-street and bicycle parking requirements and trash receptacle placement. This item is scheduled for a public hearing at the July 16th Plan Commission meeting. Tim Oakes from Ice Miller is here this evening. He does not plan to give a presentation, but is available for questions, and I'm available if there are questions of staff. Thank you.
Thank you. Does council have any questions for staff or petitioner? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion. Oh, this is just a council introduction. So if there's no comments, then we will pass it on to the APC for a public hearing. All right, very good. Ordinance 18-28, 181st Street Planned Unit Development Amendment. This is also a council introduction tonight.
Good evening again, members of the council. For the record, Dane Crabtree with the Economic and Community Development Department. The item before you is ordinance 18-28, a proposed amendment to the existing 181st Street Planned Unit Development, which is located at the southwest corner of 181st Street and Sun Park Drive. The original 181st Street PUD was approved in 2014, and a requirement of the original PUD was that full compliance with the ordinance, including landscaping requirements and phasing out enclosed industrial uses, would be accomplished no later than December 31st, 2023. The amendment proposes modifying the development and use sequence so that the new compliance date be December 31st, 2028. This item is scheduled for a public hearing at the August 6th Plan Commission meeting. Eric Douthit from Churchill and Antrim is present this evening on behalf of the applicant and would like to give a brief presentation. Afterwards, I'm available if there are questions of staff. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Eric Douthit from Churchill and Antrim here on behalf of the petitioner. There are two small changes in this particular PUD amendment. The first one Dane has hit upon, and that's extending the existing use period for an additional 5 years. The purposes of that is to allow for the development to come instead of coming to you 1 or 2 years before we're going to have to bail on that. It's going to give us the additional time we need. It is certainly the hope of the petitioner that we're able to develop this into something that's more compliant with the underlying PUD ordinance prior to that 10 years. The second issue that we have before you is a use that's been previously confirmed by the BZA in a hearing, and that was to allow a less intense use, specifically a McAllister's rental location to go in. You may have noticed that the trailers have been taken off of that recently because of that BZA approval. So we're actually going to ask for a less intense use. That's been approved by BZA. We'd like to incorporate that into the PUD so it's all consistent within the PUD. And as part of that, we would then forego that BZA amendment. We look forward to working with council and staff over the course of the next few months to get this approved and answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Council have any questions for the petitioner?
I have a few.
Yes.
It says that this exempts itself from IC 36741109. I didn't look it up. Can you just tell me what that is?
I think that's I actually don't know because it was part of the existing PUD. So that's not a modification of the underlying PUD. All we've done to that is we've modified the date of compliance to 2028 instead of 2023. So I don't know the underlying statute that you're referring to. I could pull it up and respond if you'd like.
And I can help too. I can't remember, 1109, if I'm not mistaken, is kind of it's a catch-all. And I'm not sure what the rationale was for including that, but I can go, we can figure it out.
When was this original one done?
It was
I don't know. I'm sorry, go.
approximately 5 years ago.
And it also has the buffer yard requirements as with no evergreens. It's just shade trees and an ornamental for every 100 feet.
And again, that's been previously approved as part of the underlying PUD. The only thing we're asking for is to extend that for an additional 5 years.
My concern would be what's going to be there later. And this is allowing light and heavy equipment sales, rental, and service added as a permitted use.
Correct.
So that's not currently a permitted use.
No, the underlying PD ordinance was changed, and that definition of what was included or wasn't included was modified within that 5-year period of time. So as this particular tenant became available, and this less intense use became available to utilize, this newly defined term had to be incorporated into the amended PUD, and that's what we've done.
So the heavy equipment, sales, rental, and service is considered a less intense use?
It's, you're leasing McAllister equipment rental instead of having those trucks and trailers out there. So I would consider it a less intense use than what was there presently. And I
I
think,
would consider it a lot heavier use personally. I mean, I don't know legally how we look at that in planning, but that seems a much heavier use to me.
and that's been previously approved by the BZA, so we're trying to incorporate it here into the PUD as
And I'm
we
just
speak.
trying to understand that part of it.
Yeah, so it's going to be a McAllister dealership is going to be there instead of the Tradewinds truck and trailers that were scattered throughout the lot.
Are they not including some buffering, fencing?
All the buffering and fencing that was previously required under the PUD has been completed, except that it's been specifically excused by the city due to the fact that additional right-of-way and other acquisition was going to come in, so we'd have to get it installed, and then it would all go away. So all the buffering that was initially required has been installed under that PUD, so all that's there. And the empty lot that's here in the corner, well, that's not my pointer, but if I had my pointer, the empty lot you see there on this, on the.
Eric, there's some right there. if you want.
Oh, thanks, man.
You're welcome.
I'll do, that one doesn't work.
Yeah,
There on the south east corner of Wheeler and 181st Street's an empty lot, and that's now been appropriately shaded, so the industrial use you see to the east is better shaded from those folks that are going up and down Wheeler Road. And as those trees grow in, it'll be shaded even better, screened even better.
Any other comments?
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. This will go on to the APC for a public hearing August 6th. The last item under new business is ordinance 18-29, Cottages on East PUD. This
Good.
is an introduction as well. Caleb, thank
Right.
you.
Good evening, council. For the record, Caleb Ernest with Economic and Community Development Department. The item presented for introduction is the planned unit development being called Cottages on East PUD District. The area is approximately half an acre and is currently zoned SF3 Single Family Medium Density District. The area is located at 303 Northeast Street at the northwest corner of North Street and East Street. The PUD proposes a change in zoning from SF3 to the Cottages on East PUD District. Sam Milligan of North Ridge Construction is here to present details of the project, and I am available if council has any questions for staff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. President and members of the council. My name is Sam Milligan with Northridge Construction and James Investment Group. As Caleb has said, I'm here to introduce the proposed PUD Cottages on East. This project is located on the northwest corner of North Street and East Street, just down the road from three new houses that I've built in the last few years. We are proposing to build 4 single-family cottage-style homes that will face East Street. These homes will be rear-load garages that will be accessed on a common drive. Do these work? There we go. Here's a common drive. So this is North Street down here. And we will be putting a privacy fence on the west side of that common drive. These, as I said, this common drive will be accessed from North Street. You will notice that we have set the homes back off of East Street. Our intent is to grant a 30-foot right-of-way easement to accommodate future expansion of East Street. The fit and finish of these homes will be very similar, on par with what we built already in downtown Westfield. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the staff of both the Economic and Community Development and Public Works for their assistance in this process. We've collectively been working on this and talking about this project for some time, and they've been very helpful. James Investment Group has owned the property for a couple of years, and we have been maintaining it as a rental. In that time, we have had a lot of people approach us looking for a different, looking for a smaller footprint, lower priced home in the downtown Westfield area, and this certainly creates that opportunity. I will be presenting the project to the Grand Junction Task Group on 7/17. I do expect a favorable response from them. I have spoken to the neighbor directly to the west and described this project, and at the time they had no concerns. Our overall goal for the project is to continue to create high-quality residential options for a broader range of clients who are interested in living in the downtown area, and our overall goal is to continue to revitalize the residential development in downtown Westfield. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Sam. I appreciate it. Any comments?
Are you having a separate meeting for the adjoining neighbors?
I will. I'll put that in the public notice, and we'll set that up.
Okay, can you let council know when you do that?
Okay, any others? Sam, I think it's a good project. Thank you for bringing it to us. I think you've been very successful in helping redevelop the area close in this proximity, and I know the owners of your homes are very pleased with your results, so
Well, thank you very much.
thank you for your contribution to the city.
Thank you.
Any others? All right, we'll pass that on to APC, where they'll have a public hearing on August 6th. At this time, residents who wish to address council on items not on the agenda may do so at the present time. Do we have anybody that would like to address city council? All right, thank you. City council comments. Mr. Hoover from APC.
APC met last Monday evening. We acted on the Wheeler Landing PUD, received a favorable recommendation, and that will be coming to this body at some point in the future. We gave a favorable recommendation to Spring Mill Grand Station PUD amendment, which we acted on earlier. We held public hearings on an amendment to the Aurora, which is now called North Point PUD. We had nobody speak on that public hearing. We held public hearings for the Liberty Villas PUD, as well as the overall development plan and secondary plat. And we did have a few people speak on that. We also held a public hearing on the development plan and secondary plat for Augusta, which is the name of the community in the Davis PUD. And our last item was Spring Mill Station, Southeast Corner PUD, which no one spoke at that, so we did also forward a favorable recommendation to this body. We acted on that earlier this evening. That was it.
Thank you, Steve. Any other councilor comments?
I just have one. I think we should express appreciation to everyone who was associated with the Westfield Rocks the Fourth. It was a great celebration, a great fireworks display, and I think in particular, the public safety officials involved. It was very well controlled out at the event, but exiting the park was just absolutely phenomenal. To get from the park home in 14 minutes is just beyond belief, and it was just well done, well executed, well planned. So I think we should thank everybody associated with that event.
Thank you. Yes, I'd like to acknowledge Joel is here tonight with our police chief. He did an excellent job with traffic and other controls out there in the parking lots. Fire ran safety and other operations, and they were inconspicuous, and that's a good thing. We didn't have any incidences that were serious, and we had a lot of people. And Angie Smitherman and her crew, events coordinator for the city of Westfield, did an excellent job in all aspects of a very successful evening for everybody. And the smiling faces you could see, and the fireworks were just spectacular. So I echo what you said. It was simply amazing. Parking lots were full. Tonight, I think most of you have heard, but it's with great sadness that the mayor's grandson, Zach Hyde, the family was coming back on Interstate 94 and was rear-ended. And Zach, the mayor's grandson, passed away Saturday. And so keep the Cook family, as referenced in Mr. Lehman's prayer, keep them in your sights and lift them up, and really pour out just send your condolences or whatever you feel. We don't have any details on any services. The Hyde family was from West Lafayette, so that was a sadness, and it was touch and go for a while all last week. So our sympathy goes out to them. Joe Edwards, a fellow councilman, his son passed away at age, I think he was in 55, but that was not unexpected. But anytime these things happen, it brings a sadness to the families. So his funeral service is tomorrow. His son's name was Joey. It's at 10 a.m. On a more pleasant note, I would encourage you to make plans to attend the Colts camp. The kickoff evening is July 25th. The Colts will have a band out at Grand Park that night, and Pat McAfee will be doing the emceeing out there. So it'll be a great start to the 3 weeks of the camp here, and I encourage you all to get out there and participate in that, and it'll be fun. There'll be activities for all ages, so keep that in mind as you look at your summer schedules.
President Ake, you might ask Angie what she still needs.
Volunteers, yes, I understand we need, Westfield Welcome is short some volunteers. We need about 400 or more, 500 or more.
277 spots.
So, Angie, what can they do? Go on Westfield Welcome site and volunteer your time. There's plenty of time slots available. You'll have a great experience out there, and we need the help. This is really going to showcase Westfield in a positive light, and it's very exciting for us. So you'll be welcomed, and you will be able to welcome others to our city. So please get on that website and let Angie know. She deserves your help. All right, thank you for that. Any other comments? Okay, at this time, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Moved.
I have a motion, second? Second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. We stand adjourned. Thank you all.